Okay, folks, Dr. Freedom here with you. Time some Doctor news from in and around the universe. Well, you know the rest. And as you can see on the screen, this was put in the comment box of a channel, and I won't name which one or who actually made the comment. But just to give you an idea of just how bad things have gotten on certain parts of the fandom, death threats, yes, have been issued. And it makes me wonder just, what the heck are these guys thinking? It's a TV show. And now and they seem to think that if you post something like this anonymously online, that it can't be tracked, it can't be found. I don't care what kind of VPN you got. Anything online can be tracked. I don't know what drugs people are snorting or what's going on here. But is it really worth possibly looking at legal action because you don't like something going on your TV show? And it gets worse. The reason I'm even showing you this is because there's someone I know out there. The only crime they're guilty of, they've literally not provoked anybody. They've not attacked anyone. The only thing they did was they put up Jodie Whittaker fan groups. Those fan groups have been hijacked. They've been trolled. And this person's now received death threats and even got a rape threat. And I know YouTube's going to smack on this video because I use those words, but it's the truth. Yet they've got the nerve to say that the Jodie Whittaker fans are just as bad on them. Right. And it's not a laughing matter. It really isn't. This has gotten beyond silly. But I just wanted to show you the state of reality that's going on out there. It just really sickens and saddens me that these folks call themselves fans. Okay, first up on the docket, is Joe Martin actually the 14th Doctor? Now, this has been a really big speculation point because it would be a very interesting twist. It would really throw a monkey wrench into the so-called complaints of a lot of folks out there. And as you can see here is the doctors that were put forth by Philip Hinchcliffe in The Brain of Morbius. Now, there's a loose metaphysics that defines what can and cannot happen in his fictional world. If the Doctor meets himself, younger incarnations cannot remember meeting their future self. Now, with countless crossover stories featuring multiple Doctors, this metaphysical rules plays out all the time. The War Doctor forgets trying to save Gallifrey. 10th Doctor forgets his Trenzalore destination, yada, yada, yada. So this is very possible that this could be what they're lading on at. Now, a lot of people have been going on about the Hinchcliffe Doctors, the Brain of Morbius, all that because of the Timeless Children, which makes me die laughing because Brain of Morbius was like all the way back in like 76, I want to say, where they proposed there were more Doctors than the ones we had seen on screen. And the thing is, it's not an original thought. Because I can't remember which episode it was. I want to say Mind of Evil, but I'm not sure. Where Pertwee actually says, I've been a scientist for thousands, and then he cuts himself off before he finishes the sentence. So, you got to remember, the second Doctor said his people can live pretty much forever, barring injury or illness. They didn't have a 12 regeneration limit until the Deadly Assassin came along later and changed all that. Not to mention the Deadly Assassin retconned Omega in favor of Rassilon. But of course, later on, the show lore made it so that Omega was also a side player along with Rassilon. So they worked that out later. But the thing is, to say we know everything and anything about a character just because of what we've seen on television and that we should limit people to what we've seen previously is kind of like crazy because no other showrunner has done that. But that's just me. That's just my crazy thoughts on the matter. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, Joe Martin could turn out to be another future incarnation of the Doctor who, for some reason, has either lied about remembering Jodie, which could be because it has to do with future events. That this future Doctor cannot tell her previous incarnation, look, I know you can't do it. And also, there have been rumors going around about the Doctor visiting a previous era in Gallifrey's history, which would fit in with the Joe Martin being the 14th Doctor. Now, about all this silly nonsense about the TARDIS is dying and all that, I don't know anything about that. That's just been a rumor that's been circulating for a while, that the Doctor has to, for some reason, go back to Gallifrey because something's going wrong with the TARDIS, which, is very possible in itself because, as we all know, the TARDIS was originally stolen off the repair line. And that's another thing that boggles my mind, is why there weren't more people, these vicious, evil, hardcore traditionalists weren't openly attacking Moffat back when he had Clara telling Hartnell which TARDIS to steal. Or had Clara sitting there in the barn telling the child doctor basically what's going to turn out to be his future mission in life. Where was all the outrage then? Where were the death threats? Oh, then again, there were death threats against Moffat. And then they wonder why there's not going to be a showrunner who's going to pop up that they're not going to have to either pay incredibly well or, like Chibnall, have to be talked into the role, because this is the type of reaction you get when you dare rock the boat. All right, but that's just me. All right, keep moving forward here real quick. Now, Sylvester McCoy breaks his silence about the BBC axing the show. He's referring to back at 89. I was really miffed. Oh, yeah, by the way, there's a Bounding in the Comics article running around saying that Doctor Who might be canceled according to some inside sources. And they're quoting a YouTuber. They're not only quoting a YouTuber, they're quoting a YouTuber who's openly been against the show since Jodie Whittaker was announced. Here's the thing. That's always that possibility that sometime in the future they could lay Doctor Who to rest for a while. That's, it could happen. You got to remember, this show is now in its 16th year of this current incarnation of it. Or as some of you like to think, it's been around since 63, but I'm referring to this current version that we've had since 2005. And even Supernatural threw in the towel after 15 years. Walking Dead's taking a rest after series 11 of their show. So you never know. It could happen sometime. But like I said, I don't know what they're going on about. You got a guy who's made up ratings numbers and twisted every fact he could to try to, suit his story about how Chibnall and Whittaker are killing the show. Talking about them as if, they showed up at his house one night and stole all his kids' Christmas presents. So far, numerically, they've not been able to prove it. It's like, and they call me delusional. And I'm like, dude, even after they took a year off, they got about the same average series rating in series 12 as Capaldi did in series 10 when they took a year off before. So you can't sit there and tell me there was a massive decline because of Whittaker and Chibnall. You can't do it. Matter of fact, Chibnall comes back. Now, it may have been, there was a possibility. He wanted to do a female doctor, just not only shake things up and go in a new direction, but also to bring attention back to the show. And it worked. They got 7.92 million viewers. I'm going off memory here, but I believe it was near 8 million viewers for the average for series 11. But the thing is, what did the BBC do after he did this? They took a year off. But let's get back to what's in front of me. Before I really go off on a wild tangent, okay. Now, what he's saying here is they approached him and asked him to stay on for a 4th year. And originally he was going with what Davison said. He goes, so when I signed on, I was going to do 3 years. And the second year, the producer came to me and said, listen, we like what you're doing, so we want to book you for a 4th year. And I thought, I'm not sure. He went, if you don't do the 4th year, you won't do the 3rd year. All right. And he was thinking along the lines of, Davison told him the same thing that Troughton told him. Liz Hurley. Hi, Liz. Oh, sorry. I lost my concentration there for a moment. I wonder why. I want to click on it, but okay. But he said, quote, I was really miffed when they came through, said they decided not to do the 4th year after them twisting my arm. It looked negative on my part. It made it look like it was my fault, but it was to do with politics. And that's exactly why, because Doctor Who back then was, turning a corner. They were going down a path, not the same, but on the similar grounds that, Chibnall has done, where he's trying to put more mystery back into the origin stories of the Doctor. And that's what they were doing. If you don't believe me, go watch like Silver Nemesis with Lady Penford at that scene at the end. Sure, the rest of the episode wasn't all that fantastic, but that scene there at the end is what hooks you when she goes, I'll tell them about the dark times. I'll tell them about what you call it. And then she keeps hinting that there's more to the Doctor than just being a regular Time Lord. And this was in an episode back in like 88, 89. So it's not new. It's not, Chibnall screwing with you. He was just picking up on an idea that's been around for a while, not ripping it off. All he does, he rips off previous showrunners. Oh, gosh. So, hang on. One more look. Hi. Okay, I'll have to look at that later. All right, 10 actors are going to replace Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor. Now, here's the problem. Oh, yeah, Tilda Swinton. She's going to quit doing $10 to $20 million movie roles where she'll get paid, tens of millions of dollars to show up on a set, do maybe about 2 months of shooting at the most, and then she's off the rest of the year. She's going to hand that in for a show where she's going to have to film 10 months of the year and only get paid 240,000 pounds. Yeah, that's going to happen. Whoopi Goldberg, no way in hell. It's not the fact she's American or she's black. It's the fact that a lot of people are hardcore against Americans doing the role. But also, once again, Whoopi, very high profile. Once again, very highly paid. She is getting on a bit. And also, once again, 10 months of filming, in Cardiff. All right, of all places. Olivia Colman, I wouldn't discount it, but remember, she's been winning awards now. She's also been getting some very high-profile roles. Hugh Laurie, no way in hell. Come on, Hugh Laurie is resting on his laurels. Oh, God, did I make a pun? But remember, he was getting paid his last year at House like $800,000 an episode, and that was after he took a pay cut because he wanted to see Series 8, the last series, get done. Before that, he was making $1 million an episode on House. So I don't see that happening. I really don't. He's been mainly concentrating on his music these days. Tom Hiddleston, no way in hell. He's collecting Marvel money. Come on, he's getting his own show coming up, Loki. So, no. Joe Martin, definitely possible. I could see it happening. It would really, really twist put a severe wedgie into some of the folks out there who seem to think they know what's going on. Michaela Coel, I could see it happening. Why not? Why not have someone step into the role, of a different nationality, ethnicity, and all that than we've ever had before? I'd love to see it happen. We did it with Joe Martin. Why not do it with the next Doctor? Benedict Cumberbatch. Yeah, right. Once again, he's not going to do Doctor Strange, whatever. If Strange 2 doesn't pick up or whatever, yeah, he's going to turn that down to go back to Wales. No. Bill Nye, already been offered it, turned it down. Ben Whishaw, I don't know what to say either way. I'd have to do a little more research on Ben Whishaw, but I don't know. So you never know. It could happen, but still. Once again, you got to factor in that, Doctor Who does not pay all that much compared to movie roles on other shores. Now, it is one of the highest paying TV jobs in Great Britain, but it's definitely not on Graham Norton or Bradley Walsh scale compared to what they're making now. All right. Now here's some photos from the filming in Barrie that happened earlier this week. Remember when I said they had a filming unit out there? I wanted to talk about this earlier this week, but there was some stuff going on. See, there's the photos I showed you earlier. And you get a better look at those in a minute. I'm sorry, I'm way out of order here. Okay, let me move that over. Okay, so we can go to this. All right, more weeping angels have been seen. If they do some close-up shots here, we can see if you bring these up closer, there's weeping angels here and here staring into that house, and things along that line. So definitely weeping angels being featured, coming back in this particular thing. Now, there's been some speculation because, John Barrowman's been seen in Cardiff, but remember, he also does Dancing on Ice and things like that. So it could just be he's over there for that. So don't go too hyped on that as of yet. And lastly, Alex Kingston would love to appear on an on-screen Doctor Who alongside with John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness. And it's like, the thing is this, River Song coming back right now would generate a couple complications. For one, she was pretty much a Moffat character. Also, the fact that, well, then again, I know Barrowman, that, yeah, Captain Jack Harkness is an RTD character. River Song, I could have swore was a Moffat character. I'm going off my brain noggin here right now, okay? And the problem is right now she's doing a whole series. Matter of fact, the Series 8 box set of the Diary of River Song just got dropped the other day for Big Finish. So she's been doing a lot of Big Finish work, for that character. So, it could happen, not saying it couldn't, but having it happen right now, I don't know. It would have to take a really good story to bring those two together, given the circumstances. So once again, folks, I just want to remind you, things are rather crazy out there in the fandom. There's been death threats, all kinds of other threats going out there over a television show. Matter of fact, I know one person who's already contacted their local authorities and they're pursuing legal action. And a lot of people seem to think that because you're on the other side of the planet or something like that, you can get away with something continuously. But when it starts becoming that serious, where you're threatening someone bodily over a television show, I think it's more time to turn off the TV and start looking on your computer for the nearest psychiatric facility. And I'm sorry to be such a downer, but this has happened to people I know, and it just is downright disgusting. Well, folks, please take care of yourselves. COVID's still out there. Wear a mask, unless you're Liz Hurley. Oh, wait. Good night, everybody. I might definitely check that article out in a minute. Good night.